Hey, friends. Welcome back to the Glow Up and Grow Up podcast, where we get real, unfiltered, and always fun about the evolution of womanhood. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Stacy, and today we're diving into the wild world of LuLaRoe. And trust us, the stories we're about to share are real. We're talking leggings, live sales, hustle, burnout, and how the journey got there and how to set the stage for where we're at today.
Yeah, you'll hear about two women, a whole lot of leggings, and some late night chats that turned into a bond that kept us keeping in touch and loving each other through thick and thin, and some unexpected lessons that we have learned along the way. Are you ready to hear it?
Let's go. All right, so how we met and where we were at. So I think we were both LuLaRoe. We were both coaches at the time, I believe. And a coach is when you have a team at LuLaRoe, multi-level marketing. We had a team, and they put 10 of us in a group chat together with a leader from corporate, and that's how we met. So she was in Jersey, I was in Vegas, and we had some other friends along the way that were in that group with us, which we're still friends with all of them today. Um, but it was just a really cool to put LuLaRoe did to put us together again, putting women together that are struggling with the same things in business, and it really helped form a bond, and we were able to immediately talk about issues we were having and how to solve them. And that's how we were met. It was group chat, group
Yeah,
chat.
I think we had both been in LuLaRoe for a little bit at that point. Um, and I feel like we hit it off like very soon after that started. I think, what was it, like a 10-week program or something, that once a week we would meet
Yeah.
on Zoom and we would go through different lessons and leadership and talk about like the issues that we were having. And yeah, our group, I think I'm the only one left that still
I
sells.
think you are. Yeah, you
But
are.
we all still are pretty close. We might not all talk every day, but I think that had created a bond for us that, if any of us needed anything, like those are our girls. Like we have been through a
Yep.
lot together, which
Yep.
is
Yep.
really cool.
And Caitlin and I both love Sparkle. So so I called her my Sparkle Soul Sister. And so we just instantly bonded. My mom's from Jersey. She's from Jersey. So I have a little Jersey, heritage. So it just we instantly, you know how you meet someone and you just instantly click. So that's how it kind of was with us, for Caitlin, and we just instantly clicked and kind of led us to where we are right now, and lots of stories along the way.
So, Stacy, let's talk about first impressions. My first impression of you is I remember thinking you had on red lipstick, and I remember being like, "Oh yeah, I love this girl. She has on bright red lipstick for this Zoom meeting that everyone has on sweatpants for." And you were just bold. I remember you being like bold in your statements of saying like, like, well, just sell the clothes. It's not that big of a deal. Like,
Yeah.
and I just remember being like, wow, she is so bold. Like she just says it how it is. Um, so I think that was what I can remember of my, I mean, we're talking probably 7 years ago.
I think it's longer than that. I think you had on some bandage on your head or something.
Yeah. I had gotten Kybella done on my chin, and
You
my
come
chin
down
was
the Zoom.
so swollen.
Yeah, you had like you know how those women get facelifts, so they have that
Yeah,
wrap. Yeah, you had like you go on
I
the Zoom
forgot all.
and you had some bandage on your head. I'm like, what's going on? I think you were driving with a bandage on your head, and
Because I was probably like, I'm not getting on one more Zoom call. Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah. I
my,
think you were just like bothered by the whole thing. Like we had to go on to this, and you're like driving and talking, and I was like, what is going on with this girl? You know, she's got this bandage on her head, going through life, going through Jersey Pike or whatever. You know.
I, by the way, Kybella, I mean, if you are a fan, that's great. It did not work for me. My double chin did not go away. I did
I've
try.
heard that. I've heard that. I've heard that.
I did try, and you're right that I did show up to a Zoom meeting that way. You know,
That was my first impression. Like, what is going on with this girl? That she's got this bandage on her head or with her face.
there are things I wish I took a little more seriously in life. I just thought, yeah, whatever.
That just came back to me. I totally forgot about that when you're like first impression. I'm like, what was the first? And then that vision of the
I mean, maybe I can find a picture of the Kai Bella and post it
yeah,
on our
that
Facebook
that
group for the
that would
girls.
be good. That would be good to because that'll never leave my mind now that it's been revisited.
So let's just talk about real quick why did we even join LuLaRoe? If you don't know, LuLaRoe is a women's clothing company that has been around for I think 12 years at this point. Um, and about 2 years into the company, it just blew up. It was,
Big time.
I think LuLaRoe is the first viral thing. Like, I think
Yeah,
that
it
that
did.
is like the first viral internet thing. Because I mean, Facebook Live, when I started selling LuLaRoe 10 years ago, Facebook Live wasn't a thing at all.
No,
That came out probably a
there was
year
no
into it.
TikTok.
TikTok wasn't a thing. Instagram was barely a thing. Um, and I mean, imagine how LuLaRoe would blow up now, like with TikTok and all of this. Like,
Yeah,
it just caught fire, this thing, and it's wild. So if you've never heard of it, it's a women's clothing company. It blew up. It got huge. And basically, a real quick version of what happened is they went from selling a couple thousand units a year to like millions of units a month, and like any sort of sustainability in that is just not possible. Like they could not keep up. So there was some issues and people had problems, and we'll get into some of that, but it just kind of slowed down. And like any business, I think,
yeah,
you have ebbs and flows, you have ups and downs, huge years, and now it's just kind of a normal business. It's not this big viral wild story
yeah,
anymore. It's just I still sell LuLaRoe. It's just a normal business now. It's not what it was, but also what it was wasn't normal. That wasn't a normal business.
yeah. It exploded. It exploded, and it was fun. It was fun to be there right before it exploded because I joined right before it took off.
Yeah, so why did you join?
So very easy. My why has always been money. That's it.
Simple.
That's it. Everybody has their, oh, I wanted women, community, blah blah blah. No, 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 no. I was simply there for money.
Yeah.
I was there to make money, to raise my son, to, cover my bills, to have freedom, to have my time, and that's exactly what Luluo gave me for 8 years. It gave me my freedom, it gave me money, and I was slowly there for money. Now, the bonus I got along the way were, some friendships that it will carry through the rest of my life, which, I'm grateful for. But yeah, I was there for money. And what were you there for?
So when I started in 2015, I had a really good friend doing it. And she was somebody that I always looked up to as like they were well off. They didn't need extra money. Um, but they made smart decisions. So when she started doing it, I was like, that's interesting because they don't need the money, so this must be a good opportunity. I didn't even own the clothes. I didn't really know much about it. Again, it wasn't really on Facebook. It was like an in-home party only kind of thing. And I was working in corporate America and like slaving away in corporate America. And I remember my boss told me it was like midnight on like a Friday. And I was texting him, like, I can't figure this out. Like, I don't know what's happening, like trying to figure something out for work. And I remember he was like, kid, you need a hobby. Like, you work 24 hours a day. Like, you need a hobby. And I was 28 or 29. And I was just thinking about how, like, I, yeah, like my life is corporate America. That's all I do. I don't have anything else. And so when I saw that, I've always loved clothing. And as a girl who we talked about this a little last week, like I was a size 16 very early on in my life. I think my junior prom dress is a size 16, and I still wear a size 16 today. And it was something that I was like, oh my gosh, they sell extra, extra small through 3XL. Like that in 2015, that wasn't really a thing. There was plus size stores or regular size stores. No one really sold a line right through. Um, and I just loved that. And I was like, wow, like I really like this. So I told her, yeah, I'll have a party for you. And then a couple days later, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Like I just signed up. And then I got my clothes and I was like, oh, shoot, what did I just do? Like now I have to actually do this thing. Um, But I mean, it was the best decision I ever made, but I didn't know much about it at all. I just knew she made good decisions financially, and I liked clothes, and they sold plus size clothes, and I thought that was cool. And I needed something else outside of corporate America. So why not make money for myself? Um, I remember telling my, like, the girl that sponsored her, my upline, um, two things. Don't ever ask me to quit my job because I love my job. I make good money. I'll never quit my job. And number two, don't ever ask me to go to one of those dork conventions. I will never go. I'm not a dork. I'm not going to run around in the fancy leggings. That's not me. And 1 year later, after that, I was doing LuLaRoe full time and I was like queen dork at the conventions. I could not wait. I was there first in line for everything.
The conventions were fun.
They were so fun.
Leadership were fun. I mean, I've never had more fun at a party without alcohol being served than a LuLaRoe party.
I've never danced. I mean, we would sweat dancing.
Yeah, just I mean, roller skate parties, like all these fun things that they would put on, like the best parties from the home office.
And it was just
It was
positive.
so much fun. Positivity, like
Positive
yeah,
people. And what I love, I mean, I wasn't a mom. Um, I'm not a mom, but like it was like moms gone wild. It was all these moms who are like
they're
every
free
day,
from the kids.
right, doing the thing, and then they're away for like 3 or 4 days and no alcohol involved, but you better believe we were up all night dancing. Like they could not keep the lights on long enough. And then back in the hotel lobby, sitting for hours talking about business and life and laughing. It just was the coolest thing.
Yeah, I missed the community like that. The parties were great.
I'm just saying, one day when our podcast blows up, we're going to have big parties like that.
We'll have to have Justin come
Yeah,
come
we're going to
plan
do
that.
it in like 3 or 4 cities. We'll have big parties. I think we should do that.
Hey, look, you just put it out there. The Glow Up and Grow Up. We'll go on tour
Yeah,
and let's
we're going to
have
have
fun
parties.
parties. Yeah, let's have fun parties.
All right,
Yeah,
what were you
well,
going to say?
I say I got involved because our executive assistant, I just left my corporate job, and our executive assistant kept posting these leggings. And I'm like, what is she like create a Facebook group, put me in it. And I messaged her. I'm like, are these things selling? She's like, oh, yeah. Well, like we are like sold out of them. I'm like, what? You know? So I go over to her house because she lives here in Vegas, and I watch like how they just like boom, people are sold, 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 sold. I'm like, holy, what is going on? And they had a whole process. Anyways, long story short, I was making more staying at home with LuLaRoe than I was in corporate America, and I had my time. So network marketing in general gets a bad rap, that it's a scam, that it's, you know, but there's so many people in the world, not just LuLaRoe, but so many companies that are network marketing that are providing a living for people. And it's not a scam. They're selling products and services. And it's just, it's just how it's set up. It's great for moms who want to stay home with their children or dads. I mean, same thing. And I just think, if we have a platform here, network marketing is not a bad thing. It's a great thing. It provided for me solely and my son for 8 years. And I have always said I have nothing bad to say about LuLaRoe. And I know we'll get into it in a minute about there was a smear campaign. When you rise, there's going to be haters. And there were definitely haters. And so one of those haters went to jail for how bad she slandered the company. But it's a great company, still is. And my time there was, I quit because it ran its course for me. I just got burnt out. I went live every day almost for 8 years. And it was just at a point where I'm like, okay, I gotta do something different. It's not what it was for me anymore. And so that's why I decided to leave. Because I was just burnout, really what it was. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. And I think network marketing, like you said, is, I mean, I'm very pro network marketing. I think it's a great opportunity. Do I think that some people take a great opportunity and make it scammy? Absolutely. There is all sorts of, in any industry, it doesn't even need to be direct sales or network marketing. People can make anything scammy. Um, like we all have cars, right? And why do car salesmen get this scammy vibe? Like they're supposed to sell you a car. They're doing their job. Um, but I think network marketing, where it gets people is that it's all on you. You don't get paid for doing anything. You don't get paid just for doing, the everyday task. You're not on payroll. And I think that's where people can get upset is because it doesn't take off for them, or not everything is meant for everyone. I did 2 or 3 network marketing companies before and 2 after, and none of them I was even decent at compared to LuLaRoe, but I really found passion in, for me in the beginning when we were doing in-home parties, watching women walk out of their dressing room crying that they haven't felt beautiful like that in years. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, there was, you knew that like these clothes, it sounds so corny, but these clothes were changing people's lives. Like
Yeah,
they felt confident for the first time in years. And I think that that's why the company blew up so much. It had nothing to do with scamming and anything. Like the clothes actually made women feel beautiful. And I think with our live sales, we were one of the first people, if not the first company to get on Facebook Live selling things. And you had women from size 0 to size 24 getting on Facebook Live saying, I'm a size 16. This is how it fits on me. If you want to see a size, 2X or 3X, here's pictures of my friends. And
they felt safe.
yeah, you felt safe. You just were able to be open and honest and say, like, yeah, I'm a size 16. Actually, I was a size 16. Now I'm kind of an 18. I got a little fluffy, so I'm a 2X now, blah, blah, blah. Like, or I lost some weight. Like, women didn't talk like that before LuLaRoe. I feel like there was not a lot of that, of like, this is what size I wear, this is how much I weigh, this is how tall I am. Like, and in LuLaRoe, that there was no, it was a completely safe place to tell everybody all your details. And then all of a sudden, our women started saying it too. I remember somebody said to me, like, how do you know what size somebody is? I'm like, well, they tell me. And she's like, they just tell you on a live sale that they're a 2XL. I'm like, yeah. Like, why does it matter? And I love that, like, LuLaRoe kind of created that for people.
Because it was supposed to be of shame that you were a 2X before or
Right,
3X. And LuLaRoe, the, there was no shame. Okay, let me see what I have in your size.
right.
And then made people feel comfortable that you're not ashamed for what size you are. Embrace your size. And I
Yeah.
love that.
I just saw on, I just want to say quick, I saw on TikTok, there was this trend that went around of like LuLaRoe blindness, it was called, and like the ugly outfits that you wore in LuLaRoe, which listen, I don't care if it's LuLaRoe or not, the outfits that we all wore in 2015 and 2016 are not that cute. From 2010 to 2017, if you look at photos, none of them are cute. Like, I don't care if it's LuLaRoe or not. Paris Hilton on red carpets ain't looking so cute.
Yeah,
But the thing that I noticed is in the comments, as I was reading some of these things and watching, in the comments, other women were writing, yeah, but I never felt so good about myself. Or all I know is like, look at you beaming in all these photos. And women were making, other videos saying, you know what I realized is that the most pictures I have of myself is when I wore LuLaRoe, because you were taking pictures, you were posting them, you were confident about your outfits. And as wild as the patterns were, as crazy, like customers and retailers alike, like they were confident. That was a time of a lot of people's lives where they loved how they looked. And that is something so cool to be a part of.
that is. Yep. So you mentioned you're the last one selling from our core group that we had. So what keeps you going? Like, have you wanted to quit? Why haven't you quit? Because you're still there.
I'm still here and I have had ups and downs. I mean, I never had checks quite as big as you guys. But they were decent, and they're, to be honest and open, they're not what they were ever once were. Um, but they still cover a couple bills every month, and I love that. But for me, my biggest thing is I love the community. I love sharing the clothes. I personally think the clothes are the best they've ever been. Um, I think that I love wearing them. I wear them more now than I did when I was 28. Um,
By the way, we're both wearing LuLaRoe,
we are
but
both,
so
we're
yeah,
wearing some of our favorite items.
yes.
Um,
I'm in a dress, but it's this. I love this dress. It's so
Yeah,
comfy.
same. And I think that I love the heart behind the company. I love that their values are lifting women and helping women stay home with their kids. And it came down to a season in 2022 where I was banging my head against the wall and I couldn't figure things out. And what was always working wasn't working for me. And I had someone say, you have two choices. You can start a new business and start from the ground up, or you can work the same business you already know and start from the ground up. You have to rebuild. You got behind the times, things change, and your business needs to change. So you can either do it with a product you don't know or with a product you do know. And that really changed my mindset of like, okay, I haven't been keeping up with the times. I've been just doing what's been working and letting it trickle down until it's nothing, instead of trying to try new things, instead of trying new times of day or whatever. So I had to get myself out of the, I've done this for so long, I shouldn't have to start over. Um, and I did. And I, last month was my number out of 10 years, it was my fourth highest month of selling. Um, which is huge coming from 2 years ago. It was my lowest sales I've ever had. Um, and I just love it. I love the freedom. Um, like I said, I love the company. I love the, the way the company works. Um, and the biggest difference now, I think, is that it used to be all encompassing when it was huge. Like my whole day was LuLaRoe. Um, and now it's a job. Like I said, it's leveled out. It's not as huge. It's not viral anymore. It's not all encompassing. My team is doing their thing. Um, and now it's a job. Now it's steady. I love it. It's predictable. Um, and that's really, it's just important. It's important for me to have something that I love and I can do other things. And, we just brought on the IULs and life insurance licenses, and like I'm able to do multiple things
Right.
and have it all work and not just sit in an office all day.
And I feel like I should say, if you are interested in joining LuLaRoe, you can become part of Caitlin's team. You can message her and she can get you information because it is there. It's a great way to make money. There's lots of different models they have now where it's low at cost. And this is not an ad for LuLaRoe by any means, this segment, but I should mention that because you guys do bring on new people and there are people joining the business. And it is a great way if you need some extra money, you need 500 extra a month, it's a great way to do it, and you don't have to get a job. You could do it from your home, and it's just I've never said anything bad about it. I just love it.
I mean, I would never sit here and promise you're going to make any sort of the money that we made in the beginning, because that's just,
Yeah.
that was just a phenomenon. It was not normal, but you can make a decent living. I remember when we first started becoming friends that I was struggling with sales. And by struggling, like I was selling enough that I needed. But I could have done better and sold more. And I was complaining because I loved having a team. I loved coaching and teaching and all
Yeah.
of that. And I remember saying like, but I want to do that more. I want to grow my team more. I want to coach more. And Stacy just said to me, get over it and sell. You can sell. You just do it. Sell the clothes, Caitlin. And she just was so direct with me. And I was like, oh, okay. She's like, you can do it. Stop complaining. Stop making excuses. Just sell the clothes. And that changed. I mean, I tripled my sales after that. Just because, and that set me up to be able to, if you were somebody just relying on those bonus checks, like that's your fault. That
Yeah.
was a bonus. That was not guaranteed. That was other people's money. Like, well, not other people's money. In LuLaRoe, if I sell something, I get 100% of that. LuLaRoe as corporate pays out bonus checks for training and all of that. Um, but if you were relying on that, it was your own sales that you should be relying on.
Yeah, I admire that you want to help people so much, but in your in your journey to help people, you weren't helping yourself. And that's why I said, go sell the clothes and then everything else will come because your team will see you selling. And then they're going to want, because your team watches you. And so when they see you selling and they see different things you do, they're going to mimic you. So, any kind of business, if you're a leader, they're watching every move you make. So when you're doing emotions, just like your children watch you. So you have to do it for them to follow. If you can't just tell them to do it and you don't do it yourself, it's not going to work.
Absolutely. I did want to dive into though, just because I know people love the tea. They love the drama.
Oh yeah, the tea.
Just the hard
Ooh.
days of all the things. I mean, y'all, when you go from a tiny little family owned business to a huge corporation, like huge company. I
Yeah,
think we were
huge.
the number one,
Billion.
like, what did they say? Like, huge designer brands were asking, like, what are they doing? Like,
Hmm.
we were probably the number one retailer of clothing in the world at one point.
Probably 2016, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're still one of the fastest growing companies. Um, there's going to be issues. And there's, like Stacy said earlier, there's going to be haters. And
Yeah.
I mean, it got pretty messy for a little bit, and we both stayed through the mess. Stacy was there through all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand in general in life hating anything, but there was little a group created to literally hate LuLaRoe, to go after looking for things, go after the owners, just integrity, and they even there is a isn't there a show on Netflix or something
Yeah,
about
we
it?
don't about it.
Yeah, yeah,
We're not going to give it any.
yeah, no, but it was just so false. It was so false. When you lived it, you're like, that's not even true. And I just think when when you hear about things, you can't always believe everything you hear, even if there's a show on it, because it's just not true.
I mean, it changed the way that I watch documentaries and stuff.
Oh yeah, because you can spin it any way you want when you're creating a movie. You can take clips just like you can generate anything and spin it however you want, just like the news does, right? They spin things, the same story gets spinned to different networks. Same thing. So yeah, it's just there was lots of drama and it always perplexed me because I'm like, why are you wasting your time on something? Go sell. Go sell. Like go sell.
Or go
It's
find
such a
another
waste.
company to love. Like, don't
Yeah,
get the hate out
don't
of your
hate.
heart. Um,
Yeah,
and it's hard to watch something that you love that has really changed your life. You've watched change other people's lives, people that you love, the family that owns the company go through stuff that's really hard, and watch people just tell what might be their truth, but just totally in a different way than you have ever felt it, and their spin on it or whatever, and not be hurt. Like, it hurt us as people to go through that. And it I think that's part of the burnout, was the emotions involved too, of like,
yeah,
man, this sucks to watch them go through this. Um, but it is cool to see the other side of that and watch people grow out of it. Um, but yeah, I think people wanted so badly to hurt the company, they didn't realize that they were actually hurting the individual retailers and the people that were feeding their
yeah,
kids,
yeah,
um, and the people that were, in their eyes, the good guys. But like, truly, you can't fight huge corporations. You can't take them down. Like, you just can't.
yeah,
You take down the little guy first. Um, so I just always thought it was so hypocritical too, that they were complaining or whatever, that the top was making all this money and the bottom wasn't, or whatever the complaints are. But like, you're the ones hurting the actual bottom. Like,
yeah,
you're hurting the people that aren't making money by what you're saying and doing. Um, and it just, walking through that, it really opens your eyes about businesses and about what's true and not, about the internet and what people say.
yeah. And then people that would leave would often come back because the they had it set up where you could be successful. And so a lot of people would try to go on their own and they're like, oh wait, then they came back.
And there's a lot of people that went off on their own and became really successful. I mean, LuLaRoe was a great starter business for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Some of them resented the fact that it wasn't built for more. And like,
yeah,
instead of saying like, wow, I went from being a teacher making $30,000 a year, and this is not anyone specific, but like, I went from being a teacher making 30 grand a year to making millions in my, you know, boutique, because I went through LuLaRoe and learned how to do all of this. A lot of these
yep,
people would have never known. And it's cool because a lot of people do credit LuLaRoe and thank them, but a lot don't. Um, but I have a lot of friends that have found success outside of it, and they'll turn back and say to me, like, you know what you should try? If I was still selling LuLaRoe, this is working for me in the boutique world, you should try it. Um, and I love that community that still exists, that we help each other. Um, because I've heard that in the outside boutique world that's not really how it is. Um, but like you said, a lot of people do come back because it's the grass is not always greener. Like,
No, it's not.
it's green where you water it, as they say.
So what are some lessons that we're taking forward in our lives that we've learned from LuLaRoe? Because it's kind of helped us shape to where we are now. You're still there. Um, but what are some lessons you've learned?
I think the biggest lesson that I've learned, and you're probably going to agree with me, is that when you are in a season of life where you're making a lot of money, if you are blessed to be in that season doesn't last forever. There's nothing you can do to make that season last forever. If you are in a season that you are making a lot, do the right things with it. Yes, have a little bit of fun, but at the same time, I'm walking away from 10 years with great memories and great trips and all of these things. But when it comes down to it, I didn't choose to pay off my debt. I didn't choose to, pay off student loans or any like things like that. Like I had to work hard to do that later after like the good times, the blow up years. Um, because I had fun. I thought it was going to last for so long. I was naive. I never made that kind of money.
So YOLO's not a strategy.
It is. It can be a short, like you can take one good month and have fun. But long term, if you are in that situation where you are blessed for a season, and it could be a season of 2 months, it could be a season of 2 years, it could be 6 years, whatever that season you're in, set yourself up, do the right things. Because future you will be very happy about that. Uh, and money doesn't last forever. There might be another good season, but there will be bad seasons in between. And if you set yourself up right, those bad seasons aren't so bad. So I think that's the biggest thing that I learned. I had a lot of guilt and a lot of shame around the amount of money that I made in like 2 years and having nothing for it. Like that, it took me a
Yeah.
long time and therapy to like take away the guilt from that.
And we're going to talk about that kind of next episode. But um, saving money, financial education, these are things we are going to share on this podcast. And we're sharing from our mistakes um, that we think we have some experience in this, that we have both produced a lot of money, generated a lot of money. And not that we don't have anything to show for it, but we should have a lot more to show for than what we currently have. And we're happy to share that with you, that we believe we are not in the best place that we should be, considering the amount of money we have made. And we're doing steps to improve that. And we'll share more of that later. But it's just, you got to prepare and you got to have a nest egg. And just because things happen in life, you lose a job, your husband loses a job, someone loses a job, it's going to happen, or something happens, and it's just nice and secure to have that um, saved, that a reserve you have. So yeah.
What is one of the biggest things that you have taken, because you have, owned businesses, you've done the blow dry bars, you now are killing it in real estate. What is something that you learned in LuLaRoe that you've brought through those businesses?
Being me, being authentically me, and not try to be someone else. And really, because I am in sales, and I just try to be me. I'm not trying to be anyone else. And so when we did those live sales all the time, I was just me and just being myself. And your people will find you. Some people don't like you, some people will. And the people that don't like you, they don't have to join. They don't have to come in. They don't have to deal with you. That's fine. You don't like me. I mean, I really, if you don't like me, I honestly don't care. And that's true. I mean, I don't do harm upon anyone. I don't wish harm upon anyone. And some people just aren't going to like you, and that's okay. And, I mean, there's some people that I kind of don't like either. And, for whatever reason, but I'm not going to share that. But
Right. The block button is a great button. It's a great
Yeah, it's
tool.
just like move on. And and if you don't like me, that's fine. So I've taken that lesson that I just be me. I have good intentions every day. And especially when you're a leader and you have employees, everybody talks about you. It doesn't matter what you do. And I would tell my employees, do not tell me if someone talks about me, because I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. They're not paying my bills. So if they want to say something bad about me, because I will make mistakes, I have made mistakes as a business owner many times, and I have to deal with my mistakes. I'm the only one that has to report to myself about those, and I know what they are. And yeah, people are going to have opinions, but it's my journey, and it's my journey only. And so if you don't like me, or you have an opinion about me, that's your choice. And I remember one time when I was in corporate, I went to my boss's office and he said, so and so really doesn't like you. And I said, and? He goes, well, you have to change that. No, I'm not changing anything. Why am I going to change? He needs to change. That's his problem that he doesn't like me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't care. And he looked at me like I was from outer space, that I did not care that someone didn't like me.
Well, I do think that LuLaRoe did a really good job of teaching, like, I mean, one of our slogans was "Be you." Like,
Yeah, yeah,
they did a really great job of teaching us, like, you do you. Like, it doesn't matter if people like you. It's okay to be whoever
yeah.
you are
Be
because,
who you are.
if customer A wants a certain retailer, there's thousands of them they can choose from. They'll
Yep.
find there. Um, and I think, I mean, really the only thing they ever asked of us was to wear the clothes we were trying to sell. And even in that, sometimes I showed up in not LuLaRoe and I never heard a thing about it. But that was really the only thing they asked of us personally was like, just wear the clothes that you're trying to sell, period. Like,
Which you didn't do a lot of the times in the early days.
correct. Yeah. But which is amazing that I am, the survivor of the group and I'm still here
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I was
yeah.
definitely
You're
the
the rebel of
rebel
the group.
for many years. But and I think that's why I'm still here is because I always did me. Like I never felt pressured to, you know, be anything else. And I took them seriously when they said be you. Like I did.
I love that. I love that BU. I haven't said that in a long time, and I think I just said it, but in a different way. Is I was just
Mhm.
me, and I
Yeah.
think when you're a leader or whatever you are in life, to just be you. Like, don't try
Mhm.
to be someone else, because your people will find you. Your people will find you if you're in a
Yeah.
business, especially network marketing, and you know they will find you. Your people that will support you, and a lot of times it's people you've never even met that will support you in the business you're doing.
100%.
It's not the people, it's not your friends, and just if your friends don't support you, it's okay. It's okay. They don't have to support you. Maybe they don't like what you're selling. And or maybe they don't need that service. You can't hold resentment to them, because I think you tend to do that. Oh, no one's buying from me. My friends aren't buying from me. Real estate agents, they're like, "Oh, they didn't use me." And it's like you have to let people have their own decision on what they want to do. And just because your friend doesn't support you doesn't mean they don't love you, but maybe they just don't like the products and they don't want to tell you.
Friends and business can get messy, if a
Yeah,
friend
yeah,
does business with you and you do mess up or they don't like it or whatever, it can get you don't necessarily only want to count on your friends for business. Like, I love when people are like, I want to start this business, but I don't really have a ton of friends to buy. And I'm like, perfect. You don't need them.
you don't need them.
You're going
They'll
to make a
find you.
lot of friends in the business. Um, and I think that's somebody told me once, it's kind of like if you're going on vacation to Nashville and that's where I live, and I'm like, you have to try this restaurant. It's so delicious. It's the sushi restaurant is great. And they're like, I just don't love sushi. So then you get home from your trip and I'm like, oh, did you go to, the sushi restaurant? And you're like, no, we didn't have time. I don't really love sushi. I would not bust up a friendship over that. I'd be like, oh, you missed out. But how was the rest of your trip? Like I wouldn't
Yeah,
for days think about how you didn't go to that sushi restaurant that I said was good. So like if somebody's not buying your product, it's the same thing. They just aren't interested and it's okay.
it's just like it's not into you.
It's fine. Right. They're just not into you. It's okay. You can move on. Um, I think that's another thing that LuLaRoe really taught me is just confidence. Like that was the first place that I really felt confident all the time. Like you would turn on that live camera and be ready to go, and I could do it in sweatpants, I could do it dolled up, and I just felt good. I felt confident. And they really taught they LuLaRoe clothing, the culture, the people just exuded confidence. And I think that that is something the world needed at that time
Yeah.
and still does. But that's something that I definitely carry is now that confidence of like, I'm worthy and I have built this bomb business and I did it with the help of LuLaRoe, but pretty much myself. It all what you did. It's all how you work it. Um, so that confidence is really cool. But I'm gonna say I would never have guessed back then. Remember, I told you I was the girl that was like, I'm not gonna quit my job. I'm not going to those dork conferences. Like those wild leggings. And listen, I'm not saying everything we sold was cute. I didn't
No,
wear it all.
no, no, no. There's some zingers in there.
I had a whole bin of things that I didn't even show because I was like, nah. I There were tan leggings, like skin color. I was like, absolutely not.
I remember one time I got sent 40 pairs of leggings and they were all mustard yellow.
Listen,
What am I going to do with this?
I made
I'm going to have to go sell them to Wisconsin people, for the Green Bay Packers.
I remember a picture distinctively. I'm wearing mustard leggings and a flannel that's not LuLaRoe. And I sold a lot of mustard leggings because of that flannel.
Jesus. I was so mad.
Yeah. I mean, the nude ones I held up in October and I was like, this is the only month you can buy these if you're going to put them under a Halloween costume. But we are not showing up on peopleofwalmart.com in skin colored
People of
leggings,
Walmart.
ladies.
People of Walmart.
No.
Oh my God.
So, like, that you had to laugh at it because it just, I mean, the business was, you couldn't help it. Like, they were doing the best they could. Um, but listen, I'm not saying that everything was great because there were things that, but also people have different styles and some people loved the things that I didn't love. So who
Yeah.
am I to judge? But I just never would have guessed that like leggings would have led us here to like podcasts and, financial empowerment and helping other women just build businesses and lives. And like,
Yeah.
that is so cool that, 10 years ago, I was like, no thanks. I'm not doing a dork conference. And 10 years later, I'm like, I can sit in front of you and tell you, like, I can help you become whatever you want to become. And like, that's a crazy transition.
Yeah. The universe is leading us right to where we are now. I mean, now
Hmm.
we're doing a podcast and we're doing financial education and you know, it's
It's
all
great.
through the wild ride.
It's great. And then I'm excited for next week as we dive more into this financial education and just things that we've learned. We're not total experts yet. We're learning still, but we are going to share the things that we have learned um, that can really help you guys, especially, wives, moms, business owners, and just trying to get yourself set up a little bit better financially. So I'm excited for that.
Yep. So I think we're wrapping this one up, and I think we had a call to action here. Did you meet your soul sister through a business, a job, something random? DM us, go into our group, our community group that we have, our Facebook group, our lounge, and share your story on how you met your soul sister. Or it could be a brother, soul brother. I mean, we have those too. Yeah.
And if you were part of the wild ride of LuLaRoe, the ups, the downs, all of that,
There's lots of you out there. There's lots of you out there.
there
Yeah.
is lots of you out there. I want to know your best memory or your best lesson, or even drop your favorite photo, like when you felt the most confident. Um, be kind, be nice. We're not going to put up with any negativity um, about LuLaRoe because some of you will come out and just find the hashtag and tell we're not doing that. But if you want to be kind, be fun, be positive and uplifting, go ahead. We want to be part of the conversation.
Yes. Until next week, we'll chat about things nobody taught us when it comes to finances. So we'll catch you on all our socials. But until then, bye.
Bye.